Hello. Okay. Uh, just making sure everything is up and running. I hope everyone is having a fantastic, fantastic day, and that finally got rid of it. That you have been able to get ahead with the reading. Now, if you are watching these videos and hopefully, uh, reading the chapters with us, I hope that you are able to do that. I encourage just take a few moments out of the day. It takes me about 10 minutes each day. The reason that it takes me 10 minutes is to underline to make sure there are certain things like I want to check this, or I want to, ask this, or if there is nothing from the youth, there's this, and this I can discuss on, which actually has been fantastic. The first 2 weeks of this, uh, so last week, since this was technically for last week, we had a discussion, and I just love how the youth have gotten into it. So I'm very excited for that. And if you are reading with us, I'm so excited. And if you have any questions, because there were a few questions with this, which I will discuss when I meet with them for Wednesday night, and I will actually give some of that for you today. So we're in chapter 2. So these are the some of the objections to just what we discussed from the other video and the first chapter. And with it being, so we're still in the case of Christianity right now, and um, the question that he was presented with during this was, I don't think I mentioned this in the first video. Actually, I do apologize for that. World War II. This is when this was broadcasted, and he was dealing with a lot of just moral issues of the Nazi Party and just what the Allies had to do, and pretty much everything. So, um, this is the question though that he was put with. Isn't what you call the moral law, which is also the law of human nature, which I forgot to mention in the other videos, so forgive me there, simply our herd instinct, and isn't it been developed just like our other instincts? Before reading this chapter, when I first read it, I never really thought of it that way, especially with the herd instinct and the moral law. So it's fascinating to me. Now, this is Lewis's kind of response here. Yeah, I do not deny that we may have a herd instinct, but this is not what I mean by the moral law. We all know what it feels like to be uh, promoted by instinct, by mother love or sexual instinct or the instinct for food. Now, this conversation, these instincts that we discussed last week and today is so interesting because of the fact that what does this really mean? What does it mean to have these instincts? Now he actually mentions just later, not too long down on the chapter, it he puts it pretty much like this: you will probably feel two desires. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go a sentence back. Supposing you hear a cry for help from a man in danger, you will probably feel two desires. One desire to give give help due to your herd instinct. The other desire to keep out of danger due to the instinct for self-preservation. But you'll find inside you, in addition to these two instincts, a third thing that which tells you that you ought to follow the impulse to help and surpass the impulse to run away. I think we've all felt these instincts to do what is right and do what is wrong, and um, to uh, go like, oh, I shouldn't help here, or I should do this, or however that may look. Have you ever felt that? I believe in the um, next slide here. Um, hopefully you guys can read this. So I'm going to read each question, and you can think about it, you can ponder this, or you can answer in the comments below, which would be fantastic. What is something that everyone should know is wrong, but they consider it right? Very similar to the what we discussed yesterday, or earlier, I should say. What is something that everyone should know is right, but they consider wrong? Um, yeah. What does C.S. Lewis mean when he discusses the idea of human nature? Why do you take from this chapter where do you think you or maybe someone else needs to improve with better when it comes to doing what's right and wrong? Even though when I actually wrote those questions, it was specifically for the first chapter, the two chapters, pretty much this whole book, like you can read it one straight way through, and you can just get all the things clearer. And just going through each chapter that I have and doing it time and time again, it helps and has motivated me to do better with what I'm doing for both the youth and for my own personal life. And so let us go to this instinct. This is the instinct that we're going to focus on, especially near the end there, because I'm going to deal with the two questions that they asked last week. There are two instincts that we must choose from when we put in this situation of being in danger or helping them out. The first one is to help, and the second is to stay out of danger. There is another that is, as he mentioned, which I just read, that is there that we must uh, choose between these two. It is very interesting that we have this instinct with these two instincts to either have self preservation or to help someone else that helps us decide, will we help or will we not? And normally with these instincts, it will go with helping the other person out. And that is very interesting that we sometimes do not do that. We sometimes go the opposite direction. We kind of just avoid helping because a lot of times we've been hurt, we've been um, tricked, we've been lied to, we've been told X, Y, and Z, and that's why we choose not to help. And sadly, that is the truth for so many of us. Which I know that is sometimes the truth for me, where you don't want to help because of you being hurt in the past. Um, on page 11 of this, um, he states every single note is right at. Oh, I keep forgetting that I didn't put a line under the whole thing. Um, Let me go further back for a second. He's talking about a piano of doing right or wrong keys on a piano, which there's something about pianos and pretty much anything instrument like that I don't know anything about. So this was actually a very interesting thing to think about. Every single note is right at one time and wrong at another. The moral law is not any one instinct or set of instincts. It is something which makes a kind of tone, the tone we call goodness or right conduct by directing the instincts. So pretty much the instinct the fighting instinct, the instinct to fight when since this was during the war brought out the instinct to fight, to come together and protect one another, to go out and help one another. Um, Actually, I did not even think of putting this down, but to actually check on this, there was the man. I don't recall if it was during World War II. Yes, Desmond Doss during World War II. He's the gentleman. If you don't remember, if you never even heard of Doss, he refused to go to war with a weapon. He wanted to go. He wanted to help his comrades. He wanted to help his colleagues in the military, but he refused to have a weapon in hand. He was actually made fun of, bullied, and just kept being put down and kept being beaten down, but refused to do it and wanted to do anything he could to help. And what I think is amazing is this is actually a movie that came out a few years back in 2016, I believe it said, Hacksaw Ridge with Andrew Garfield, where he does this just in many ways miraculous thing where he was willing to go into the trenches, go into these I wouldn't really say trenches, but go into these areas and get the injured and save them and get them out of danger. And he got injured himself horribly multiple times, and he did this multiple occasions. The movie company actually, who made the Hacksaw Ridge, chose to actually take a lot of it out because they felt that it would be unrealistic if they did it any other way. Because he did so many amazing things. Is what I'm trying to say. So many things to help other people without thinking of doing getting anything in return in a way. He like I said was bullied. He was beaten down by a lot of the people in the US military, but that did not stop him, and they actually, excuse me, in many ways earned that respect because they thought he was doing an act of weakness by not having a weapon. But he chose to have the instinct to fight, but not in the way that they fought. And that is what it talks about. It does talk about, the sexual desires as well as, the fighting desires. And to kind of just go over that for just a moment, because I do believe that is important, especially in the world today, where we have those sexual desires that, are right in some ways and wrong in other ways. Marriage, the only time it's right. Um, but there's also times when it is to do it in marriage and times not to do it. But at the same time, I'm single, so I actually don't know all those little details. But I do know that we have to remember to strive to fight when the moment is right, not to fight in the wrong way, and for the other desires, not just the sexual desires, but even food. It mentioned food a moment ago, how we have these desires to you know overeat or eat too much in general. And yeah. uh uh where is a good place to go from here? When you think about these two differences between morality of one people and another, do you think that the morality of one people is better or worse than that of another? Have any of the changes been uh imprints improvements? I'm sorry. It talks about just as we mentioned from the other video, the fact that these people might have these rules and these people have these rules. Now, um, this one actually is the question that we discussed last week, and I did not have the answer to it. I will give the answer that I gave, but I will also give the answer that I received from one of my professors, who was very helpful in guiding me with this. So it goes from here. If your moral ideas can be truer, and those of the Nazis, for instance, less true, there must be some real morality for them to be true about. The reason why your idea of New York can be truer or less true than mine is that New York is a real place existing quite apart from what other of us think. Now, um, I've been to New York. I can say what it was like. I can say certain details about it. It's been a few years since I've been there, but I do remember a lot of the little details about it. When it comes to those who don't know, you can say something incorrect about it or assume, in a sense, about it. When I first read this, my instinct was actually instinct was the idea of the right and wrong of what was happening during the war in New York. I knew that because this actually was told to me in a class that New York it wasn't that the whole city was, but there were companies within New York and even probably in Chicago and a few other big cities where they were kind or nice to the Nazi Party before knowing a lot of what was going on. So it's like I thought that's what that was meaning. But my professor, when I asked him about it, he explained to me, he demonstrated to me that it's really just an idea of, the just the right and the wrong of, you can view it this way, I can view it this way, but your truth of New York may be somewhat true. That might have like a little tiny bit of truth. You could say that New York is huge on pizza, and that pizza is the best part of New York, or something like that. And I would actually agree that pizza is fantastic over there. I was born and raised in Chicago, so I love actually both pizzas, both deep dish and the thin crust. Um, now, really, where is it? Now for the final question that we actually discussed was, but one word before I end. I have met people who, the extinguish. I cannot word the difference is because they have not they haven't been able to figure out the difference between uh, the difference of morality and difference of belief about facts. For example, one man said to me, 300 years ago, people in England were putting witches to death. Was that what you call the rule of human nature or right conduct? But surely the reason we do not execute witches is that we do not believe there are such things. If we did, if we really thought that there were people going about who had sold themselves to the devil and received supernatural powers from him in return, were using these powers to kill their neighbors or drive them mad or bring bad weather, surely we would all agree that if someone deserved the death penalty, then those filthy, uh, I don't know that word, glitches, pretty much witches would did. So to kind of end it, I asked my professor about that and really what that is, because I was confused. I was like, are we talking about witches? In that time frame, that was the idea. Okay, you believe that you're witches. They should be put to death because witches existed, or people believed that they existed, and morally that was kind of the right at the time. But once people realized, no, witches don't exist. Now there are people that are wicked, or I don't know the other words that they do use for stuff like that. I know nothing about that. So um, I know that people do believe that stuff like that, but many of us don't actually take them seriously majority of the time. But when it comes to the moral idea of executing witches, it's out of place now. Now I thought it had something to do again with World War II. I kind of overthought it there, but that is incorrect. It was just the law, the human nature kind of changed because the world around them changed and they realized the truth. And so I really hope that this has been both the first video and this video has been good. I'm trying not to, like I said in the first one, and I'll probably say in every single video, just so I don't get in trouble. That I don't want to read the whole chapter, even if it is short chapters, in case of getting in trouble. I don't want to have that because this is specifically for my youth, for our youth, and the fact that those that do come across this video maybe can benefit from asking these questions and going deeper into mere Christianity as well as everything else. Now, if there were anything that I missed in each chapter, and I'm sure there are things, and you have questions about it, I encourage you to ask. I encourage you to do that because it encourages me to ask myself, like, okay, what are the answers here? And if I don't have the answers, I'm encouraged to talk to my professors or talk to people who I can brainstorm with and grow my understanding of, oh, this is actually what it is. I was just overthinking it. So thank you for watching. I hope that the last video and this video has been helpful and that we can grow and learn a lot more from C.S. Lewis because his um, thoughts, his brain was fantastic. He was a fantastic thinker, and I believe that we can learn a lot from him, especially the idea of being morally right and wrong in the world today, especially when there's so many questions of what is right and what is wrong. So thank you. I hope you have a fantastic day. Whenever you're watching this, just know that God is love, like we mentioned before, and you may hate that idea because you don't understand what that means. But I encourage you to, if you're a believer who doesn't understand that, ask questions. Don't just, you know, be hard hearted. I pray that the Holy Spirit is trying to get your attention, and I pray that you're not trying to fight away from that. This is a dark world that we're living in, and these moral questions from Lewis and from other people, I know that, are important for us to think about. So I hope that we all can grow in this and can learn a thing or two from Lewis from back in the day. So thank you, and have a good rest of your day.